Wayne reporting from North Geelong for WIR and guest video out at the fabulous Magpie camp, the North Geelong Footy Club, which have made the 1993 Division 1 Geelong and District Football League Grand Final. And with me tonight, the captain of the side, Daryl Sid Jones. Congratulations, mate.
Thanks, Ronnie. Yeah, it's another grand final, mate. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Yeah.
Bit of a habit, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the fourth one on the trot we've been in, and yeah, hopefully we can, take it off. That's what it's all about.
Well, you'd be pleased to know, mate, I stuck with you. You know, everyone was writing you off at the second semi-final, and the bloke on camera, Noel Fanning, Cookie,
Yeah.
they'd reckon the Pies had gone.
Yeah.
But I stuck with you, and, well, you've proved all these so-called tipping professionals that you weren't gone.
Yeah, well.
And, the experience of the more senior players really got you through in that second semi.
Yeah, well, I think, people wrote us off, before the final started, and, but I always knew that, once we got our full side together, and with the experience we got and a few young blokes coming on, I was confident we'd make it, and we'd, acquit ourselves, well in the finals, and we're there again, so we just got one to go.
Yeah, one more to go, mate. I'm sure you're very keen to get out there and complete the training session. The boys are really keen, as we can see in the background there. They're training very well, and there's that air of confidence, not overconfidence, but...
No, I don't think there's any overconfidence. There's a fair bit of experience amongst the blokes. We've got the blokes with a fair bit of age, like myself, but, we don't get overconfident. We just out there to do a job, and come Saturday, that's what we want to do our job, and hopefully, our job will win us a flag. So
I'm sure it will. Reflecting back your second semi, at half-time, things were going, I think you were playing reasonably good football, but that man, Philip Boyle, really, he kicked 4 or 5 in that one quarter.
Yeah.
Any plans for him this week?
I don't know about plans. We just probably have to check him a bit tighter. He sort of doubles back a bit, I think, and sort of gets out on his own a bit. We just got to have to watch that, I think.
Who's your choice? Which pie's going to pick him up?
I won't say at the moment, Ronnie. But
Malcolm Keith, a pretty good option, wouldn't he?
He could be a chance, yeah. Well, Mel's played on him before and played all right, but I don't know. I'll leave that up to Heinzie. He's a coach. He's a main man. He makes them decisions. Yeah.
Daryl, thanks a lot for your time, mate.
Yeah.
All the very best for Saturday, and who knows, we could be drinking champagne together at 5 o'clock Saturday night, mate.
Could do, Ronnie. Thanks a lot, mate. No worries.
Good on you. Daryl Sid Jones, the captain of the North Geelong Magpies, out here at the last training run at those fabulous Magpies camp, the home of the Dirty Dick Veerpok, out here at North Geelong. And I'm sure that Daryl is very keen to get out there and just show the boys what it's like in that one day. And Ronnie Brain back again out at North Geelong. And as Daryl Jones just said, he leaves things to the coach, and here he is. Dennis Hines, congratulations, mate, in making it again.
Thanks, Ronnie. Yeah, it's been a good effort. Consistent year for us. We've always looked like having the double chance, and now we've made the most of it, win the grand final.
Unbelievable when we reflect back just quickly. A lot of injury problems throughout the season, and a lot of people wrote you off. Second semi-final day, half-time. Things weren't looking real good, were they?
Oh, it shows the character of the club, doesn't it, Ron? We showed that last year. Everyone wrote us off too, and we got up and won the flag. And here we are again. We were down half-time, but I didn't think we were playing that bad anyway. And then we come back and ran all over Kaya, so things are good.
What's the secret, mate?
No secret. No secret. No, just
perseverance?
Yes, just perseverance, yeah.
With Sid earlier, I just sort of mentioned to him that you just mentioned the fact that you were doing quite well up to half-time, and yet were down on the scoreboard. Philip Boyle came to our lips, and obviously could be a bit of a concern because he can tend to drift back and kick 3 or 4 goals quickly in a quarter and turn the tide. So what plans may you have for him?
Oh, we've discussed him, we'll leave that till Saturday. We don't want to tell you anything now because he might get around.
Mate, I assure you, this is highly confidential, the guest video on WIR team, but I'm sure whatever you do on Saturday will be successful because it just happens to be in the blood of these fabulous Magpie camp, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got a lot of character, North. I think a lot of the guys played here when the club was really down, and that's a spur for them. They don't want to get back to that situation again, and they want to make every post a winner now.
Well, mate, on behalf of the team, Noel Fanning, Dave Cook, and Tassie Hodgson and myself, all the very best on Saturday, and we look forward to your company win, lose or draw afterwards for a cold cleanser.
No worries, Ron. Thanks a lot.
Dennis Hines, the coach of those fabulous Magpies, the North Geelong Football Club, who are now playing in the 1993 GDFL 1 Grand Final.
Mac is doing a he's out now. He's in the GDFL team. In the middle. Oh yeah, so how do you want to do this? Don't know? You want to do both coaches together? And get the skipper? Their arse loads of work. What would you say? What would you say? Don't blame me, I'm only the coach. Oh shit. They did though, honestly, they kicked some fair different weeks ago. I mean, yeah, Bill's not that top. Good.
Okay, good evening and welcome to the Corio Football Ground here on Thursday night, the final training run before the Corio football side go out and have a second crack at the Premiership glory. Defeated last year, as we know, in inclement weather by the North Geelong side. With me here I have the one of the dual coaches of the Corio Football Club, Rod Boothroyd. Good evening, Rod.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Good, mate. Rod, I guess the first question is, as you guys are training tonight and approaching your second consecutive grand final, what's the difference in the approach this year to last year? Is there any difference?
Oh, there's a lot of difference because we've got a lot younger side this year. They're pulling the load. I think we learnt a lot from the second semi-final loss. So after last week's game, I've missed it. God is talking now.
Yeah, no, that's all right. We'll carry on, mate. Boys, next, going back to the second semi, I'll just help you out a little bit and ask you a few questions. Back to the second semi-final, obviously the first half was a beauty, and come out after half-time, North Geelong made a few moves that I guess you've had a little bit of trouble picking up, especially Skoko to centre-half back. Although he was a dangerous player, centre-half 40 seemed to cut Boyle out of the game in that second half.
Yeah, we're a little bit caught unawares. A little bit underdone for the second semi, especially off the bench. But as I said just before, we've learned a lot from that, and we're prepared for any move they make this week.
Well, when you're talking about moves that they make, the move of obviously they'll use Marnie to tag Cornwell again. You'd assume what sort of have you spoken to Cornwell about? What approach he's going to take to the game this week? Because I believe that was one of the factors in you going down in the second semi. Yes,
Jeff Marnie had a good second half. I'm not too sure whether he was playing with Nev. But Nev's learned from that game as well. He's learnt that he can't go around chasing kicks all day, and he's learnt that he's got to man up. So wherever he starts, Jeff Marnie's going to have to run all day to keep with him.
Fair enough. Also, on the North Geelong side, what are the danger players you see from those guys? Obviously, Swenison, who seems to be carrying a bit of an injury and was moved to full forward. What other danger players do you see? The guys that you're going to have to keep quiet?
Oh, obviously, Vaki. He's a good player, nice and mobile. We'll have to work something out with him, the way he drops back and takes his marks across centre half back. Obviously, Darryl Jones, he's been there many times before. Hopefully we can get our matchups right on their top players, and hopefully we can turn it around.
One of the things that stood out to me in the second semi-final, Rod, was the amount of your players that went down with cramp. Obviously, I didn't believe that it was a fitness thing, probably more, I think, the tension and the little bit of hot weather. Surely your fitness is up to scratch?
Yeah, so we actually, we talked a lot about that the next day on the Sunday morning. We had a bit of a meeting, and guys were drinking a hell of a lot of water before the game, plus, as you said, the tension. I think it got to a few of the guys because they hadn't been there before, and I think they've learned how to relax now and just take it as it comes, and hopefully we don't have a recurrence of that. Well, it was a good win on Saturday against Werribee, and you've come through the game without injuries? Yes, at the moment. Well, we got a few blokes with sore spots, but they'll work them off during the week. Well, as we've seen at the Western Oval last Saturday, premierships are hard to win and easy to lose with Motowari, and I guess it's anybody's, and you guys would have to feel the same, that anybody's got a chance, and you guys would have to feel probably a little bit more confident this year, probably overconfident last year, and probably a little more confident you can do well this year. Yes, the final series has been funny. You know, it just goes to show football, you know, anything can happen. All you can do is just prepare yourself the best, and hopefully you can do well on the day.
And obviously, I guess, lastly, the relationship between yourself and Darren has been a good one throughout the year. There doesn't seem any tension between you two, and you're always working in like a true partnership should be. What is your main role? Obviously, you're dual coaches, but you can't both do the talking, and it's got to be a split up. What's your main role in the team?
At the start of the year, Macca was appointed coach, and myself, but they really wanted somebody to work on the personal side with the younger guys, and that's my role. Macca does the talking and the training during the games, and I do the personal coaching behind the scenes and a few tactic things we're working together.
And just finally, with your own position of full forward, obviously Hardiman will be your opponent again on Saturday, I'd suggest. And did you think, or Ronnie Brain, now the man of great knowledge in local football circles, and myself and little Tigger Cook believe that you were leading into the pockets too much? Is it something you give a bit of thought to for the grand final?
Yeah, if I line up at full forward, I'll play it a lot different, because I got myself in a little bit of a rut there, and in the first quarter, and I found it hard to get out of being caught behind all the time, the way the ball was kicking up in the air. Obviously, I've thought about that, and hopefully I can turn my own game around and see what happens this week.
Well, all the best, Rod, for Saturday's game against North Geelong. Hopefully the result will be a little bit different to last year. I'm sure North Geelong will be as keen to do it as well. But I'm sure with your best efforts and being a focal point with a bit of success on Saturday, the Cry Football Club will prosper.
Thanks, Arthur. We'll be giving it our best shot for sure.
Okay, that was Rod Boothroyd at Cry Football Club for 3RR and guest video. See, I thought in the second semi, Dino was giving fucking Craig his eye on the rim when he was drifting down an half-forward flank. And remember I said to you, he was getting frustrated, and
that's what we've got to do.
Yeah, I thought you had him.
If we can frustrate him out of it for 3/4, it just comes down to being disciplined to man up.
He won't get a game next year, Sunshine.
Okay, we're back at Corio Sporting Ground here the Thursday night before the important grand final, and we've already spoken to one of the coaches out here in Rod Boothroyd. With me now I have Darren McNamara, the coach of the Cry Football Club. Darren, welcome to guest video on 3RR.
G'day, Arthur. How are you, mate?
Very well, mate. Obviously, well, first of all, let's just take it back 6 months here. First of all, when you first took on the job, obviously the club was in a lot of trouble, and you took on the job that probably a lot of people wouldn't have wanted. You put your hand up, and you'd be more than pleased with the results so far.
Oh, for sure. At the start of the year, you know, people had written us off, and obviously we've come a long way from that, and the young guys have just performed. We've thrown them in there amongst a few of the senior guys, and we've been very consistent performers throughout the year, and we've come up with the goods. Obviously we fell down a little bit in the second semi, but we've bounced back against Werribee last week, of course, and I'm sure we can do the job this week.
I can recall reading in the paper early in the season, the President Bill Smith said that the Cry Football Club had a policy of, I think it was the 3 Ps, people, profit and then premierships. Have you got the first 2 in line?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Things are starting to come together. You know, we haven't had any trouble at the club whatsoever this year. It's been excellent, a great family atmosphere at the club. That's what we sort of promoted. And you can obviously see if you come over on a Saturday night, there's more women and kids getting into the club, something that's probably been lacking in the last few years. But it's a great atmosphere, and you know, everyone's sort of fired up, and hopefully we can pull off the premiership, and you know, that'll be the final P, as you put it.
Well, obviously getting back to the final P, and I suppose going back to the second semi-final, although you're obviously disappointed, personally I didn't think you played too badly. I guess after half-time, a couple of the moves North Geelong pulled with Skoko to centre-half back, and obviously the damaging Swenison to full forward was a hard player for Shelley to contain. What did you think during that third quarter? Was there anything you could do to stop the onslaught as it was?
Yeah, we were probably a little slow in making a few moves, but we've got a few tricks up our sleeve, and you know, we didn't want to give too much away, but no, full credit to North Geelong. They played very well in the second semi. And you know, it was pretty hard to turn around their moves. But Skoko, you know, he's a great player. He's obviously their answer to their full forward, which they had a bit of trouble with earlier on in the year. And of course, he's gone back and nullified Phil Boyle, who I might say is in great form. You know, he had a fantastic game against Werribee last week, and his first half against North Geelong was just fantastic. He kicked 5 goals in the second quarter, I should say, and he was an avenue for us there, and Skoko, of course, shut him out. As for Swenison, I thought we shut him out pretty well, him and Jones, and the likes of Jeff Marnie in the centre. You know, the players that weren't as well known as probably Jones and Swinnerson. They sort of took over the game, and that's probably where they got away from us, I think.
I guess where they used Jamie Marnie as a tagging role on Nevada Cornwell in the second half and seemed to quell him. I think more with Swennerson, he seemed to be having a lot of trouble getting in the game, but when they moved into full forward, although he wasn't damaging, he certainly attacked every issue and was a big headache for Shelley. Would you use Shelley on him again if he started at full forward?
Well, Shelley's played on him a couple of times throughout the season, of course on the half-back flank. I don't want to sort of give too much away, but you know, Henry's a very hard player, Shelley, and he hits the ball pretty hard, and I think the guys know that, and they look out for him. You know, they've always got one eye on the ball and one eye on the ball and one eye on him. Sort of when he's coming through, he's a very tough player, and obviously he's been a very consistent backman for us, and I think he's capable of doing the job on anyone.
I spoke to Rod Boothroyd and asked him the question about fitness. Obviously, you wouldn't think that fitness would be a problem at this time of the year, but one of the concerns you would have had was the amount of your players you lost with cramp, and I think you might have joined them in the end.
Yeah, had to get you there, Tassie, didn't you? But no, I'd probably put my problem down to the fact that I've probably played 5 games out of the last 10. I sustained a bit of an injury in the interleague match, and I've sort of been in and out of the game for a bit there. But no, I was pretty surprised. A lot of comments have come back from that game as to whether we were fit enough to go on with the game, but I don't think that's the case. I think that North Geelong just played the better football, and they took the game away from us, and for the first time this year we dropped our heads and just didn't sort of reply, but that was a little bit disappointing. But no, I don't think that'll happen. I think we're probably concentrating a little more on this week than actually getting there. That might have been what the problem was. One of the secrets to winning premierships in the GDFL in the past seems to have been the non-appearance of the second side. Do you think it's easy to concentrate with just the 20 senior players out there rather than the second side? We've seen Eastern Suburbs do it on Saturday, and of course Lee Districts last year, and I personally found it a lot easier without the seconds there. Have you found that the case, do you think? Oh, it still makes it pretty hard for you. You know, as you probably tell, that numbers sort of drop off at training, but no, I tend to disagree a little bit there. You always play your best 20, and the fact that you've got the reserves there playing in the finals alongside you, you know, they're just as keen as well, and I think that's probably something in their favour to actually have both the sides in. Just off the ground, obviously the committee's done a tremendous job, and is there been any standout people around the place that, obviously, if you're holding the premiership aloft on Saturday night, the people that you believe, you know, inside the club that have helped you get there? Oh, for sure. You know, we've got some hard workers around the club. None other than, as you've already mentioned, Bill Smith, the president. He's a fantastic worker and inspirational to me. Neville O'Toole, chairman of selectors. I mean, he's a man of a wealth of experience, and you know, he just does a fantastic job on the bench. You know, it takes a lot of pressure off me on the ground when you've got a man sitting there that can make the moves and have confidence in what he's actually doing. Just everyone associated with the club, the committee, Bob Thomas, my manager. You know, the trainers. Many a time the GDFL interleague squad selectors approach them to do the job for the interleague side, of course, and they're probably the best 2 trainers in the league without a doubt. They get many a offer year in, year out, and they always stick by us, which is just great. I'd also like to mention the coaching staff, fantastic. Rod Boothroyd, of course, Mark Ettridge, Dean Manson. Nevada Cornwell, I mean, he's a young lad. He's led by example. He's played some fantastic football this year. Johnny Cousins, I mean, what can you say? He's a man that couldn't get a game in the seniors last year, and he's come up and he's just a fantastic athlete. Ian Cockrell, what can I say? His experience and the fact that he's been prepared to share his experience with me to help the club out. I mean, he's just been great. He's cryo through and through, and we were a bit worried about losing him at the start of the year, and it would have been a fair tragedy if he had it gone, I think. Just the fact that, you know, his skill and different moves that he's made and shared with me, it's just great. Well, I guess obviously everyone in Geelong would recognise, and I'm sure especially the people of Cry be appreciative of the job that you've done here this year, and let's just hope that you're rewarded on Saturday with the Premiership Cup, and I'm sure it's still anybody's game, and you'd know that, and I'm sure Dennis Hines would know that, and may the best side win, and let's hope that it means big things for Darren McNamara in the future. So all the best from Guest Video and 3RR for Saturday. Thanks, Arthur. I'd just like to wish North Geelong all the best as well. You know, they're very experienced finals campaigners, and I'm sure we're going to have a job ahead of us, but we're quite capable, the blend of youth and experience, and I think that's what will be the telling tale in the end. If we can get it together, play the ball and attack the ball like we did last week against Werribee, I've got no doubt we'll take the game out.
All right, so that was Darren McNamara at the Cryer Football Club. We look forward to the bounce for the big game on Saturday. Obviously, guest video, Ronnie Brain and Tigger Cookie will be commentating for you, and all the best to Cryer Football Club from Shell Oval.